First, Bob Weiner, Democratic strategist, columnist, and former communications director for Clinton Drug Czar General Barry McCaffrey. He's also former chief of staff for the House Committee on Aging. Bob, good to have you back.
It's a pleasure, Alan. Romney was secured 3 weeks ago. The rest is babble.
What's wrong with using the relevant measures in place as opposed to these asinine, disconnected ones so often referenced by the likes of Al Sharpton, or should I say Al Tawana Brawley Sharpton, as well as Jesse Hymietown Jackson, Bob Weiner?
Oh, Alan, your words are slurs, which are the last thing I expected after that whole rational discussion right before it. But let me just say, as someone who worked for John Conyers, the dean of the Congressional Black Caucus for 6 years...
What do you mean by slurs? Whoa, Bob, I don't know what you said. How are you slurring people who are in fact guilty of the very reference made by the given announcer, in this case, me? How have I slurred those two people?
Argument on Sharpton and Jackson. What I will do is say you're right that the extremes here are wrong. Spike Lee was outrageous in putting what he turned out to be a wrong address of Zimmerman out. But nonetheless, you cannot say this is a case of outrageous justice. A guy who I listened to that tape, calls the guy a coon, says those people, and chased him. So, of course, the guy in the final struggle is fighting for his life and sprawling and scratching and clawing. Of course, now when you listen to the tape, Alan, the guy's at the bottom, and when the people listen to that tape from the girlfriend and the others, it's the kid who's yelling help. The kid yelling help. Of course he's on the bottom scratching for his life. This guy pursued him. This guy chased him. This guy went after him. And the kid had the right to fight for his life in that kind of a context. He was going home. He had a piece of clothing on. He was on his way home. This guy chased him, shot him, killed him, should be arrested, and then in a court of law should be convicted.
Bob, good to have you back.
Thanks, Alan. I'll move now into my soft-spoken mode.
Bob Weiner, why, in your estimation, has the new Black Panthers not been subjected to some kind of law enforcement activity after putting out a public threat on somebody's well-being? Bob Weiner.
Well, I think you're right, Alan. This is where my centrist takes over, too. I think on both sides, just as the state's attorney who overrode the police who wanted to arrest George Zimmerman should be charged with dereliction of duty and abuse of power, vigilante justice on both sides is absolutely wrong. So I think this is where you've got to have central justice, and I totally agree with you on that. But I also agree that that works for the Zimmerman case also. There should never have been an override of that. I think that state's attorney probably worked from racial profiling.
Well, see, that's an assumption that seems nonsensical because the accused in this case happens to be of mixed race, just like our president.
I think that's a myth. I heard that earlier when you said that.
It's not a myth.
Unfortunately, there are people of other races who are racial against other races, and so you've got to keep that in mind.
I believe they are going to do the best job they possibly can. We just need to pause, wait, and let them do it.
No, this is a unique situation, Alan and Amy. This is a situation where the police screwed up in the first place, and so the only backup that you've got, thank God for it, is the media. And so we have to get those 911 tapes, the videos. If we didn't have those, all the different evidence that the media has collected, and you have to, in your own mind, sift what's right and wrong. But if we didn't have that, we would not have justice moving forward here.
That doesn't then naturally follow that now the public get to dictate what the outcome should be. That would be just as brainless and nonsensical as what first took place in Florida. That's all I'm saying.
And President Obama agrees with your position on that, Alan. He said let the investigation now take its course. You are absolutely right on that.